Hi guys, my name is Maite. We are doing an interview with Hussein.
Hey,
Hussein, how are you?
doing fine, thank you very much.
Where are you from?
Well, it's a very difficult question. I was never able to answer it shortly, but let me explain it to you. Well, I was born in Egypt, Cairo, and I was raised in Saudi Arabia because my mom is Saudi. Nevertheless, my father is Palestinian. So I spent the first 5 years of my life in Egypt, and then we moved to Saudi Arabia. Afterwards, I received a great amount of education in the UK, and I actually earned my university degree in the United States, in Houston, Texas. And today I'm a Mexican citizen.
Really?
So you can choose whichever you want.
What country do you feel more comfortable to
My-
represent?
My first impression would always say I'm from Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia.
Yes,
Then.
yes, yes.
Okay. How long have you been living here in Mexico?
I permanently moved to live in Mexico back in 2008, November of 2008.
All right. Long time.
It's been a long time, yes.
And why did you decide to come to Mexico?
I'll tell you this, if you find a foreigner who lives permanently in Mexico, permanently living in Mexico,
Yeah.
most likely 90% you're going to find that he is married to a Mexican. Right?
Really?
Yes. So originally, actually, I met my, today she's my ex-wife, but I met her in Houston when I was studying. And at some point, we decided that the best place for us to live is Mexico. So we moved to Mexico. That's the reason. Nevertheless, we got separated back in 2014. And I met another Mexican girl and I married her.
All right.
Yes. Yeah,
Cool.
my mom was when I was talking to my mom and I told her, I said, really, Hussein, another Mexican?
Another
So, yeah.
Latin girl?
Yes. But this is the truth is, once you go Mexican, you can't change. The Mexican girls have a very beautiful qualities to them.
Oh, thank you. And tell us, what do you like most about Mexico?
The weather, actually, well, the weather here in Guadalajara is fantastic, right? It's never too hot, and if it's what people consider hot, it would be like 1 month a year, between May and June. This is when it gets hot, just before the rains. I love nature. Nature is amazing here. It's people from Mexico don't realize how precious the nature they have is. You guys have a lot of fruits that are fresh. Back in Saudi Arabia, fresh fruit was an extreme luxury because we imported all our fruit. Saudi Arabia is a desert, so we don't have a lot of local fruit. I was amazed to see the fresh fruit, the weather. I basically enjoyed every minute in Mexico with this weather. I have lived in England. Weather is not nearly as nice as it's over here. Other things that I like about Mexico, I gotta say that the lifestyle is here in Guadalajara, a part of the lifestyle I enjoy, the relaxed lifestyle.
And which places have you visited here in Mexico?
Well, I've been to Mexico City, but for vacation, I went to Cancun, I went to Puerto Vallarta, I went to Los Cabos. Los Cabos was beautiful. It's the one that I enjoyed the most.
Oh yeah. So you haven't visited Mazamitla?
No, not yet.
You have to.
I heard, yes, my wife has been telling me that we should go there.
Yeah, it's. Tell us something that you don't really like about Mexico.
The main concern, and not only for me, but for most foreigners and even those who have never been to Mexico, is the security. Security lacks over here, and we have to be extra careful all the time. And not only that, I was very shocked to learn that police won't do much. right?
Okay.
Said that what is? Be careful with your phone. Someone might steal your phone. Said there is a police officer right there. So, yeah, that was the beginning here. And believe it or not, the coincidence back in 2008 when I moved here, the first movie. Oh, actually, I visited Mexico before I permanently moved. It was 2004, and the first movie I went to watch in the movie theater was Man in Fire by Denzel Washington, where they kidnap a girl in Mexico City. And I was like, so this is where I live,
Yeah.
right? So
That's the bad thing.
yeah. The lack of security, nevertheless, people protect each other. They watch over each other. People who tell me to watch over my phone are people who weren't with me, right?
Yeah.
And actually, once I went to El Centro and I bought a phone there, and the guy was telling me be careful, and he gave me a bag and he said put it under your shoulder and so on, under your. He was concerned. So this part is nice. So that's basically the main thing that would concern me, and actually has stopped one of my friends from visiting me.
Okay.
He was like, really? He planned to come here and he was ready to come to Mexico, but then he was like, really, Mexico? I'm getting a little bit, nervous about going to Mexico and so on. And so he decided to not come. He was in the States, and so he never came to Mexico. He never came to visit me. But that's the main thing, the security.
Hussein, what was your first culture shock in Mexico?
Let me tell you. Well, since I was raised in the Middle East, and then I was educated when I was living in the States, the way we greet each other is with a handshake. Now, when I came to Mexico, the first time I visited Mexico was back in 1996, while I was still a student in Houston. And kind of shocked me that the kisses.
Kisses?
Yes, I'm expected to kiss every girl I meet, and it's
Yeah.
It's socially actually kind of required socially, or it shows a good education to kiss a girl, a friendly gesture. Back in the States, of course, it wasn't accepted, or it was weird to kiss a girl you didn't know, that you meet for the first time. And the thing is, I was meeting a lot of my ex-wife's family, and all her cousins, girl cousins and so on, were kissing me. And I was like, okay. That was kind of like weird if you want to talk about culture shock. The other culture shock happened in 2004, when I started to actually think about moving here. It was a good culture shock. My friends who live here told me, let's go for tacos. And I was, okay, cool. So we're going to a restaurant. I said, no, we're not going to a restaurant. We're going to this cart on the street. It's like, he said, dude, if I eat on the street, I usually get sick. I'm very sensitive. He said, don't worry. And he took me to a taco stand on Chapultepec. And I was like, are you sure? He said, yes, sure, go ahead. And I ate it. Of course, the tacos were fantastic. But I was like, I'm going to get sick tomorrow. It kind of shocked me that really the street food here in Mexico is very clean. I didn't get sick at all. Actually, today I eat on taco trucks all the time. But I was kind of surprised, pleasant surprise to see that. And I said, no, here in general, food is clean. Even on the street, food is clean. And actually, it's something very beautiful about Mexican culture. The hygiene here is pretty high. People take care of their personal hygiene, and they also take care of the neatness and cleanness of their area, of their homes, and so on. So it's part of the culture. Was a beautiful culture, a beautiful surprise, I'd say.
Okay, at least. Do you like Mexican music?
The part of Mexican music that I was exposed to I didn't really care for very much because they introduced me to banda. And I was like, no, that's not music, guys.
Come on.
I'm sorry. I'm
It
sorry.
is.
I'm sorry. I couldn't really relate to it. I was nevertheless impressed by mariachi when I heard Vicente Fernandez.
Oh,
I was he passed away like 2 or 3
Yeah.
days ago,
yeah.
and well, that's this kind of music. I at least I had to respect the tones of the voice and so on. It showed serious music. I enjoyed this part of music. But again, for specifically Mexican music, I could listen to Vicente Fernandez with the mariachi, good mariachi. I have to appreciate that.
Besides English, do you speak another language?
I was, well, my mother language is Arabic, so I speak Arabic, and I'm not so bad in Spanish. I've been here long enough to learn it. I never went to any classes, but I picked it up from the people.
Really?
From living here. Speaking Spanish is a must in Guadalajara because
Yeah.
there is a very limited opportunities to actually speak English.
Could you teach me a little bit Arabic?
Arabic,
Arabic.
I say marhaba, marhaba,
مرحبا.
marhaba, hello, marhaba,
مرحبا.
marhaba. كيف حالك?
كيف حالك?
كيف حالك? How are you?
Wow, it's easy the pronunciation, I think. But the thing is that right?
Writing Arabic is what we call a level 1 language. A level 1 language has no roots in any other language. It's its own original language. So learning Arabic must be from scratch.
Oh,
Nevertheless, when the Arabs were in Spain and established Andalusia, they influenced the language over there. So 30% of Spanish vocabulary actually comes from Arabic.
really?
Yes, yes. All Spanish words that start with al are actually Arabic, like alberca, almohada, alfombra. All these are originally Arabic words.
Oh,
The phrase ojalá actually comes from the Arabic phrase inshallah, si Dios quiere.
oh, we say a lot.
Yes,
Dios
yes.
quiere.
Si Dios quiere. As Mexican said, ojalá, it's inshallah.
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 Wow, I think for learning Arabic, it takes a long time, right?
It takes a long time, and in order to be able to communicate in Arabic, you must go and spend some time in the Middle East. I taught Arabic here sometime for people who were mostly people who wanted to travel to the Middle East and wanted some basics. But we were very limited on what I could teach them, right?
Hussein, what is the typical food in Saudi Arabia?
The most typical food in Saudi Arabia would be called kabsa. Kabsa is a rice dish served with meat and rice cooked together. We usually use a special blend of spices, can be between 7 to 11 different spices. That's the most typical in Saudi Arabia. Nevertheless, the Middle East, the Arabic countries have their own typical dishes. We are fanatics, food fanatics. Northern Arabia, Palestine, Lebanon, Jordan and Syria, they have their own dishes, their typical dishes. Egypt has its own typical dishes. The West, starting from Libya all the way to Morocco, this is the Western Arabia. And they also have their own typical dishes. Arabs have always been merchants, so they traveled a lot, and they brought back to Arabia different dishes from around the world, different spices from around the world.
Something that you want to share with us about Saudi Arabia?
About Saudi Arabia, well, Saudi Arabia used to be a very conservative country. Nevertheless, today a lot has changed. There is a new system. The government is approaching issues in a completely different way today. And for the first time, Saudi Arabia now is issuing tourist visas, which they didn't have before. The only tourist visas that were allowed in Saudi Arabia were religious tourism, as Saudi Arabia holds the most holy places to Muslims, Mecca and Medina. But today you can go and visit Saudi Arabia as a normal tourist. Now that's new. Don't do that in the summer. June, July, and August, the temperature could exceed 50 Celsius. Only people who live there can deal with the temperature, with this kind of temperatures. October, starting October would be an excellent time to visit Saudi Arabia.
Okay. Do you have any message for the people about Mexico?
For my people about Mexico, Mexico is a beautiful country to visit. They have the most exotic beaches, the cleanest beaches, things that you have never seen before. If you guys are gonna come all the way to the United States, please try to visit Mexico. Prices are extremely reasonable comparing to other places that Arabs visit. And you're gonna enjoy, you're gonna like the food you're gonna be served here. And and you're gonna enjoy the weather.
Thank you, Hussein.
You're very welcome.
It
Thank
was
you
a
very
pleasure.
much. My pleasure. My pleasure. It's all mine.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
Bye. Thank you so much, guys. I thank you, all of my subscribers. Stay tuned for the next interview.